Welcome to the After Prison Show, After Show, Episode 2.
Dose.
Got old Dave here with me as well.
Oh, you wanted something?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
I mean,
that was prolific, Dave.
I always got something to say.
Shout out to Dave with the Chicago shirt on. What a throwback of a story that was.
You know, got a rep for the team.
How did the Chicago story go? She pulled it like a chainsaw.
Yeah, it was a good time. I tell you what, I think I'd have told that story so many times that I have to convince myself that it really did not happen.
You start to believe the lie.
The memory, I done implanted a memory in my brain.
Well, this is a good start. It's funny getting into this and trying to begin this because I'm putting together some notes, Dave's putting together some ideas, and then when it's time to go, it's like, okay, how do we begin? Do we need this, introduction, or do we just go right into it?
Do we need an introduction, Joe?
I don't know.
What's up? It's the show. It's the show, and this is what we're here to do. Y'all want to be entertained? Are you not?
There you go, Dave. I like that. Get lively with it.
Let's get the energy, man.
So, a couple of things we're going to talk about here in this episode. And before we get to all of that, I want to start with thoughts from the first episode.
All right, thoughts from the first episode. We got to build me a footstool, man. I don't know what to do with my feet, and I'm just swinging in this big-ass chair.
Shout out to Dave in the high seat.
I'm over here I don't know what else to do but swing my freaking legs over here. Just doo-doo-doo.
They are swinging. That's actually quite funny right there.
You in these extra large chairs. I got to have mine jacked all the way up with a booster under my ass so that I don't look as short as I really am.
I was so disheartened or annoyed, I guess is a better way to say it, after looking at the footage from the first episode, and I'm like, I got this little hair.
Oh no, when you messaged me and I went and looked back at the video, I was like, you're the only one that's gonna notice that damn hair, Joe.
There were a couple of people who noticed, but neither here nor there. You want it to be perfect. I haven't been here in a while. You haven't been here in God knows how long, almost a year. And, here we are. We're coming back. We got this after show. You want this thing to be perfect. I got the hair. You're blending into the chair.
Well, it's laundry day.
Shout out to laundry day.
The last rule I remembered was no white shirts.
No green shirts.
No green shirts.
With the green screen.
Yeah. So I didn't know no black shirts. I'll put that on the list.
Wear whatever you want. Like I said, the Chicago shirt, that's classic right there.
Yeah, I like this shirt too.
So one thing we haven't addressed is this whiteboard that we've got in the background, which is literally just a piece of drywall that we've primed. And was thinking about painting a mural on there, maybe putting the After Prison Show after show up here. Was thinking about signing it, everybody who comes through, if anybody does.
We could really incorporate this when we start doing our hot tub streams.
You lost me there. What?
The hot tub streams, Joe. We got to do hot tub streams, right?
What's that got to do with the price of tea? What are we going to do with that?
I don't know.
Anyways, thoughts from the first episode. We went into this thing not really knowing what people were going to think. Were people even going to want to check this thing out? Were they going to be excited to see me, excited to see Dave? Were they going to hate this?
Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking because I know this is After Prison Show is your baby. You've nurtured this through forever.
But then we reached the point where I was like,
you had to move on.
You don't gotta tell me what I already know. How's that saying go? I can pick up what you're putting down.
Oh, yeah. You could pick. You seen what they were trying to say? Hey, look. All I'm saying is, when you want something to work,
it works.
It works. It does.
You got to believe in it. If you build it, they will come.
That's right.
And here we are, Field of Dreams.
What? Oh. Well, maybe they just used it then. You don't remember from Wayne's World?
Nah.
What? You're going to make a concert? And somebody came into his dreams and was like, if you build it, they will come.
Field of Dreams. It seemed people really enjoyed the first episode. It seemed they were super excited to see you. You know, I was half expecting the comment section to be filled with a lot of negativity, and it really wasn't. You know, there was one or two comments, but hey, man, that's to be expected. It seemed the masses really enjoyed seeing you and me back together, the interaction between us, the chemistry on camera, the looking and gazing into each other's eyes.
J. Dave.
I don't know where I was going with that, but it was awesome to see that people really enjoyed this thing.
I mean, talk about a confidence booster. The chat apparently thought I was looking a little scrumptious.
I didn't see that. You mentioned that before, that people thought you looked like a whole snack.
No, they said, not the snack, I'm the whole dinner plate. Now, I don't know if they were trying to say I was fat or if I was looking better than a little Debbie. But either way, whatever their intentions were, it made me feel good. So,
well, that's good. I'm glad you got the confidence booster out of the comments. And hey, thank you guys so much for checking out the first episode. It's our hope to make every installment, every episode that we do moving forward just as awesome. And real quick, let me mention this before I forget. When can you expect to see these episodes? How many of these are we going to do per week? How are we going to do these? Well, currently, we're kind of thinking maybe twice a week.
maybe twice.
Yeah, no overkill.
I think one isn't enough, and two
is just enough.
And
three is too much. And four is like, oh my God, why am I still subscribed to this channel?
And for us too. I mean, you got so much stuff going on. I'm, doing a lot of things, trying to, get everything in order, and it might just cause us to burn out. And I don't want that either, man. I want to continue to enjoy this like I did before, and bring y'all that good home. What is it? What I'm looking
home cooked meal?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That
good old Gay Dave energy. Hey now. Some things never die. Anywho, so about twice a week sounds like a pretty good idea for the amount of episodes to be doing. Maybe like on a Wednesday or a Sunday, somewhere around there, or maybe a Wednesday, Saturday. I don't know, but twice a week sounds pretty good. We've also had some ideas of doing these
live.
Thank you, Dave.
Well, I've learned a long time ago, like, I got to make sure I know where you're going before I just throw shit out there.
We've also had some thoughts of doing these naked.
And afraid? Yo, someone asked me, was like, yo, do you play Rust? I was like, no. I'm not playing a game where a bunch of naked people just come out and rob you for everything you've spent an hour doing. Like, nah, we ain't doing that. Naked and Afraid video game.
We've had thoughts of doing these live, so if that's something that you guys would like to see, definitely let us know. I've got apprehensions of doing these live.
Not me. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do it.
You think you can? You think you could survive the comments?
I think
you can handle that. The skin's tough enough.
I'm sure of it. I think.
I
think the live and incorporating different things into the live to answer questions or I mean, just whatever. I think it would be a good thing, man. I think it would be fun for us and also for the viewers to be able to interact with us.
If you guys would like to see us do an episode live from time to time, let us know, and we'll definitely make that happen. Dave.
Yeah, that's me.
What are we going to talk about this episode?
We're going to talk about this picture that surfaced on the internet. What you got for me, Joe?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. So, one of these things that I wanted to do was talk about all the things that happened during the show. Well, here's something that I found from way before the show, and interestingly enough, never surfaced during the show. Through all the many times that Dave had been a part of After Prison Show, all the many different videos and storylines and things that we did, I never ran across this picture. But this picture was never made public until one of your constituents from prison.
It's not a bad picture, though.
It's not a bad picture at all. Posted this picture. It's a group picture that involves Dave from the yesteryears, from back in prison when Dave was affiliated with a certain gang.
It was the church group. They're a gang?
They're a gang. Try not pulling up the prayer call if you want to, and you went to Bible study on Sunday. Hey, you ain't.
You're not gonna pray with us?
You know, Jerome's got court tomorrow. You're not. What you mean you mealing up? That's more important than Jerome in these 20 years he's facing? Is the church a gang?
I don't know.
Some would say that it is.
Some would say that it is. In that 6-year bid, I just started about halfway through my bid. I just got scared like nothing was gonna change. Somebody said something to me, and I think I brought this up before. Somebody that I knew from the street. We're in there and we're doing the same thing: tattoos, poker, running a store.
I tattooed your chest.
Yeah, you did.
I tattooed Dave's chest right there. What did that say? Redeemed.
Redeemed. Yeah. And he looked at me and he was just like, man.
Hold on, who looked at it? I missed that part. There was a guy.
My buddy.
Okay.
That I know from the streets, R.I.P. because
he passed away?
Yeah, drugs, OD'd. But, and that's a sad story that's all over the world these days. But enough of that. What I'm saying is we were in there together, and he told me, he was like, yo, you're more comfortable, you're more yourself, the person I remember, when we first met in here than you are
out on the street.
Out on the street.
A lot of us were like that.
Oh, for sure, because you get locked up and
it just becomes the norm.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about getting caught no more. You caught.
You caught.
Now
you ain't running from nothing.
Now we in band camp.
We chilling. So he said that, and it kind of triggered something. And I needed to change. I needed to learn more about myself. I didn't want to go back. That's really.
You were willing to do something different in an effort to make some changes for yourself. Like the saying goes, nothing changes if nothing changes.
Right.
So you changed.
I changed something. I started reading the Bible, going to church, made myself something the Bible teaches is it's like I get freaking caught up.
You don't even remember.
Good thing this one ain't live.
You don't even remember.
No, the Bible teaches you though, like the same thing.
It teaches you some shit.
NA.
It teaches you some shit.
Yeah, but it says people, places, and things.
Okay.
If you're around this, if you hang out at the barbershop, sooner or later you're gonna end up with a haircut. You never heard that one?
Yeah, I heard that one.
Right. So I started to change my people and places and things in jail, right? That was the first thing I did. And when I noticed that started working, like I noticed that I wasn't involved in the BS that is jail politics. I wasn't gambling, so I never owed anybody money, or nobody ever owed me money. I didn't trade if I didn't want it. If I didn't want it, I just gave it away. And I learned from reading the Bible just how to live life, right? I learned how to grow and I put it to work, man. I started being 100% of the time I'm in church, I'm reading my Bible, I'm a different person, right? And it took off for me, because when I came home, and I still believe
your necklace is kind of messed up. Sorry about that. It just was going to bug me, and I'm sure it was going to be kind of an eyesore.
Bam.
See how I told you about that? If you see the hair, this little hair is all right.
That one's good?
That one's good. But one poking off to the side,
you good.
Yeah.
So I just realized, it was working. But when I came home, you have so much other stuff going on. I kind of slipped away from 24/7 a part of the church, but I didn't lose what I believe in. I still believe all those things. Everything I ever said to you locked up, I believe that stuff 100%.
And let me jump in here real quick. I want to say this. I'm not bringing this up to make fun of you. Oh, Dave was in the church. He was no, because let me say this. anybody who's ever been locked up has gone through this phase. Because for a lot of people, it is a phase.
No, you're right.
It's a phase that you go through because that saying, nothing changes if nothing changes. And even though we're laughing and joking and carrying on and having a great time locked up, in the back of your mind, subconsciously, you're sick of this shit and you're willing to try different things.
Whatever. Almost.
Some people take the church way more seriously than others. It was a part of my life at one point while locked up, but I didn't give it a go for too long. I might read the Bible from time to time. I might pray, but I would find that I was only praying when court was upcoming or, dear Lord, please make sure that Luann sends that money order. Just.
How about, I
don't know a Luann neither.
With myself, right? Was I the same as the rest of the church folk, as you would say?
In my opinion, yeah.
Really?
I mean, yeah, you took it serious.
But
I would make fun. I would poke little jokes at you like.
Right, but why would you chill with me? Why would you eat with me?
No, because I rocked with you.
Right, because
and like I'm saying, just because a person is involved in the church, don't make them no person that you ain't going to associate with. Everybody's got their thing in there. For some guys, it's church. For others, it's working out. For others, it's dudes.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who.
It's dudes.
Yeah, it's dudes.
It's back shower.
Tears up.
Buck naked, twister matches.
That's changing the subject.
But anyways, no, I didn't have no issue with you because you were involved in the church. I didn't think any less of you
and I felt like I associated myself. I don't know.
Weren't you thinking at one point of coming home and being a Christian rapper? Wasn't that a thing?
That was not me, Joe. I definitely listened to Christian rap though.
Yo, you heard this new NF? This shit slaps.
I mean, NF do got some bars.
He do.
Him and what's the other one I listened to? Lecrae.
Lecrae, yeah, he's got some good shit too.
Yeah, he was off subject, but he was recognized at the BT Music Awards and got in the Cypher and everything.
But Lil Nas X wasn't. Anyways, let's get to the picture because I know everybody's like, well, they just shut up and get to the picture.
Show him the picture, Joe.
I got to pull the picture up. So anyways, I ran across this picture. Like I said, never ran across it during the time when After Prison Show was really going. But I think that's because this picture had never been posted. Now, this is a group picture that my phone is struggling to pull up. I should have saved this. There we go. Right there. My God. Young Lil Dave.
I think another reason why I asked you that question was a lot of people choose church for protection. And
do I think that you were involved with the church for protection? Is that what you're trying to ask? I don't think so.
Oh, I know I wasn't involved in the church for protection.
I don't think so. Anyways, Dave, let me show you this picture right here. This is the set that you used to rock with.
That's crazy.
Look at those prison glasses you got on right there, man.
My birth control.
Your what?
My birth control.
What you mean the birth control?
The big, that's what they call them in the military, those big frames. They call them BCs.
Birth control?
Your BCs on, you ain't gonna get laid with those.
Who's in that picture with you? Because I only recognize two people.
So
I mean, I know them all, but I can't
remember the dude on the left. Mark Bancroft is the guy to my left. Huckabee on my right, and then I can't believe I can't think of his name right now.
It's it begins with the M. McDuff.
Duff.
McDuff.
That's his freaking name. Not even McDuff. It's just Duff.
No, his last name literally is McDuff.
Is it?
Yeah. He's on my Facebook.
We just called him Duff then.
Yeah.
But he's doing really good.
He's doing super good, yeah.
Yeah, he just had a baby a couple years ago.
I saw that.
Got married. Yep. They live... Dude, he'll still randomly... I'll talk to him randomly on Facebook. He's doing really good with himself, man. For himself and his family. It's cool to see.
What do you think when you see this picture right here? Like, you got the... what kind of boots are those? Those ain't the Timbs. Those are the cheapo joints.
Those are the...
Like the V-Force or
I
the...
can't remember what they were called. They were real soft. They were
You got the suede joints. Damn, I wish I remembered them boots right there.
with the bubblegum sole, you know.
So interesting to note, there's 5 people in this picture. Dave in the center right there with his birth control glasses on. You know,
I was a little strong right there too.
Y'all were feeling it. I see a lot of chest being poked out right there. I don't know the dude all the way on the left, the black dude. I remember him.
He was a good dude.
Yeah, I don't remember him though. I mean, I don't remember his name.
Something I did not tolerate, I didn't like, was if you were in the church begging, like going around and using that to get soups and get zooms and whams. I didn't like that at all.
How would you use the church to...
Like, you know...
Were y'all sending around the collection plate?
Nah, people would just play that card. And,
hey, yo, you know you're going to hell if you don't give me no soup.
They'd walk up and try and freaking evangelize.
I got a 3-way with God later on.
Can I get a soup?
Your ass going to hell if you don't.
But that's how they would play it off. They'd be like, you know, they'd come over and be like, hey, man, you know, I just wanted to say, you know, I heard what was going on with you. I've been praying for you and this and that. And they'd walk away. And then 5 minutes later, they'd come back and be like, hey, man, I hate to do this to you, but you think I could get a suit? Like, you think I'm a freaking idiot? Like, come on, man. Yeah, you can get a suit. You ain't about to unpray me. Like, take this.
Hey, God, let me holler at you real quick.
Remember that one prayer?
Look, this picture is from October of 2013. And
I had a year left. Almost a year left.
I got to Indian Creek, because that's where this picture was at, in 2013, I think. I think I got there at the beginning of 2013.
I want to say it was, because I got
You were already there.
I got there at the beginning of 12, and I got out of there springtime of 14.
You know, of these 5 people in this picture, you included, I only know you, the guy to your right, and the guy to the furthest right.
Huckabah and Duck.
And I know that both of those guys are doing really well.
Yeah, Huckabah ain't been back since.
I'd be curious to know whatever happened to the other 2 guys. So maybe try to look them up and see if we can find them. But what do you think about this, Dave? You look at this picture of yourself, you know, set tripping like a mug.
Dude, I was in a good place right there, though. I was in a good place. I was motivated.
What was the point of that picture? Just for the memory, or was it like, hey, look, let's take this picture, let's try to get us some pen pals?
I think Mark, the guy on my left, and Huckabah were both about to go home, and this was their
goodbye picture.
These 4 guys hung out a lot. I wasn't in the same building with any of them until the end in 6th building. We were in the go home building together.
McDuff was there for quite a while I was there. Huckabah was as well, those 2 guys on your right. McDuff was a hell of a soccer player, man.
Oh, yeah.
He won the championship for us. No, it wasn't him. But he was a hell of a soccer player. It was another guy that won the championship. But it's crazy to run across this picture because I'm like, damn, Dave looked young as shit in this picture.
I mean, I think I was like, what year does that say? 13?
2013, October 27th.
I was 31.
I still had 2 years left, almost to the day. I got released October 13th, 2015. This picture of y'all was from October 27th, 2013.
I had 6 months to go.
Whew. I remember walking the track with you during this time, too. You would catch up with me like, hey, man, boy, I'm about to be gone. I'm like, man,
hey, look, something else I'm going to put out there, right? As somebody who was in the church the way I was, and I had a good rapport with all the deputies, or I had a good rapport with all the COs to the point where I almost did whatever I wanted to do. I didn't group. I didn't have to do none of that stuff. I could just go to the door. They'd pop me out. Didn't have to have no excuse. I used to go, what was that female CO's name? The short one with the really big butt, man.
Oh,
what was his name? No, I'm sorry. What was her name, dude?
I don't remember, but
You know who I'm
the
talking
light-skinned chick,
No.
white chick,
No, the ghetto at
Turnage.
No, she was
Yeah, I was about to say she's
she
bigger.
was the only one that wouldn't hook nothing up.
I don't remember, man.
She would let me go to the other side of the yard during rec before chow so that she knew I could get out. She'd be like, look, I'll let you over there, but you got to make it to chow because you ain't going to be able to get back to your building, and then now you're on your own.
You know, it's a good thing that you bring up right there, talking about through the church you could do whatever you wanted to do.
God dang, Joe. That's how you going to say it, though? Can we word this any better?
No, we can't.
Cut. Word it better than that.
You
Dang, man.
How many of y'all was really false flagging using the church
Bro.
to duck group?
Bro, I definitely was false flagging, if you want to call it that, to duck group. But I was a part of it before I got to Indian Creek.
You wore for sure.
Right? But the fact that, I mean, I did my group time. When you first get there, they didn't know who I was. I had to put in work. I did the T-PAPs. I did stand up and call people out. I didn't care. I did not care. Right? They had me all the way in BFE. I got a visit like every 3 months when we were out in Halifax, bro.
All right, forgive us. The GoPro was cut off for God knows how long, and we just had to restart because the cameras reached 30 minutes and they cut off after that. I want to reiterate something. You know, you and me first met at Halifax, this prison out in BFE, 5+ hours away from the area that we're in. And when I first met you there, yeah, absolutely, you were knee deep.
Yeah, just
In the religion, which again, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
I was 50%. All right, by the time you see me, I had done almost 3 years in the jail, fighting my son's mother, trying to take me to court. And when you got anything pending, they're not gonna send you away until you get all that stuff taken care of. But by the time we met up at Halifax, yeah, I was already in my in my groove. So when I got to Indian Creek,
You used to run the TV over there too on your side.
Well, I mean, I kind of had.
Everybody else had a TV.
Yeah,
so.
I kind of had a perfect situation there. Like,
Dave's bunk was located. He had a bottom bunk. He was located right in front of the TV.
Right.
So he had like a big screen right there. Now the downside to where Dave's bunk was at,
right next to the guard shack.
Was it right? I thought it was right next to the toilets.
It was next to the sinks.
Okay.
But remember the way the toilets were, it was like that wraparound wall, so that was like up by the TV.
I was thinking of another prison that was similar to Halifax. But anyways, so Dave ran the TV over there and kept that joint. I mean, kept it, man.
Stop, man.
It could have been the Super Bowl.
My TV stayed on football and movies. Like, that was it. I did not watch. No,
wailing.
I did not. I could not.
You didn't watch TBN.
I could not. I still can't stand what is it called?
Man, I could have
televangelist. I can't.
I'd go over there and try to talk with Davey, but hey, hold on. Hey, this new Lecrae video just dropped. I'm like, Dave,
dude, I did not watch televangelist.
We're misremembering this because I remember.
I can't stand that stuff.
I could have swore you were
like
at least watching the music videos on that shit.
Yeah, all right. So I told you I listened to.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean,
yeah.
But anyways, this whole conversation isn't just to relive all of that and to showcase this picture of you, Dave. There's deeper with this topic that I want to go, and that is, you weren't the only guy. And like I said, everybody goes through at least the phase of the church group, but there were a lot of people who took that just as seriously as you did. Some guys who even came home to be legitimate pastors and preachers.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of want to spend some time talking about some of these other people and like what happened with them. Did they all make it? Like, who didn't make it? Do you know of anybody who didn't make it? And I guess one place that I want to begin is there was a guy that we featured here on After Prison Show. You knew him. I mean, he was at Indian Creek with us. Paul.
Yeah.
Paul. you were involved in the church. You were the chaplain's assistant.
Absolutely.
There was a lot of people who would use the church as for the wrong reasons. For instance, you would have gang dudes who would go to church on Sunday. They would have conversations there in church.
Right.
But there was also a lot of things that were happening in the restroom.
I need to take a breath before I tell you this.
And this is at the church.
This is at church doing service while the preacher's preaching. There would be a lot of homosexual activity going on inside of the restrooms. I remember one day by being a chaplain's assistant, we were called to the forefront to monitor the bathrooms because people kept going in and out. And one day, one of the officers went inside of the locker room or the restroom inside of the gym, and it smelled like fecal matter all over the wall. So obviously somebody got
They were doing something.
something nasty. Yeah, they were doing something in there. So we got every service we had to the officers and the chaplain staff and everybody. They was always tell us to monitor the bathrooms because there was a lot of crazy stuff going on in there.
Paul was a preacher man, sort of a nefarious preacher man. I don't want to say he was like a pervert, but Paul was a preacher man who dealt in the pornography. Like, he had the flicks. He would get the flicks from me or anybody that I would deal with who had the photos. And Paul had, let's just call it for what it is. Paul was a good dude. He really was. But he was also stuck in his own way, I guess is the way to put it. And he had a lot of shit with him.
Well, so does anybody that hasn't conquered their addiction. When your addiction's running your life, whether you're getting high or not getting high, your addiction still controls you. You have to overcome that part of it. And I feel like with Paul, he just never took the time to actually see himself in his addiction, right? He just, I'm clean, so I'm clean. Something you don't know is when I was working at the manufacturing company I was at, I got Paul a job.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
So this was within the last year.
This was in the last 5 months.
Wow, so you've really got some updated information on this dude, because the last that I knew of this guy was he was not doing well. There were stories of him out there, not doing well. And I don't want to put the man's business out there. He was obviously dealing with addiction.
No, I hope that he sees this in the future and knows, like, we didn't just do videos with him because, of money or whatever. Like, when I brought him on, I told you, like, look, I like this guy. He's my homeboy. We come from the same area.
Yeah.
I want to help him. I want to try and help him. And, yeah, man, it got a hold of him pretty bad. He's actually incarcerated right now. He got
I hate to say that I'm not surprised by that.
No, me neither. And he can get mad all he wants, but I hope he knows that I love him. But I'm gonna make some jokes real quick. Freaking Paul, man, he hit me up one day and was like, "Hey, Dave, I got to turn myself in. Can you cash at me $20 so I can get an Uber to the jail?" I think I messaged him back and said, "No. Call the jail. They'll come get you for free." Right? Guess what? They did. But
did he call the jail, or was that just a ploy to get some money to get high?
I think it was a ploy. And that's another reason I'm doing this. He is so close to figuring himself out because he doesn't like what he's doing. He comes and he's always apologizing. He just doesn't want to be that dude. But some people can't figure it out, man. And he was one of them. And now we can just hope and pray that he does figure it out this time. I don't think he got that long. I haven't checked. I don't know what happened with his court date. Maybe I'll do that, give everybody an update. But yeah, man.
Well, the crazy thing is to think that, and we got to go back to you getting him the job. We'll go to that in just a minute.
It was so good too. He got a promotion, got a raise. He was doing really well at this job, exceeding every day, doing more than what he was asked. I was so happy because I was like, I got this dude a job. They're thanking me for, bringing on something.
Y'all are kicking it while y'all are there?
Oh, yeah. Well, he worked the third shift and I worked the first shift. So he would have to give me the rundown of what happened overnight so that I could continue to run, the machines, and I knew what was going on. So we would always kick it for like 30 minutes every morning.
Well, it sounds like he worked there for a little while.
For about 8 months. And then he got in trouble with his probation. Police came to the job with the dogs. Yeah.
Came and arrested him there?
But he wasn't there. Like, he knew that they were going to come. So he didn't come to work that night. And that was when all the shit started to hit the fan. And before you knew it, he had to turn himself in. Because when people love you, they're not going to, he didn't have nowhere to go that wasn't pushing him to just handle his responsibilities and get it done with. Same with me. When I told you, like, hey, this just came up, and you were like, well, you know what you got to do? Are you going to do it?
When you had to turn yourself
in. When I had to turn myself in. If I probably wouldn't have turned myself in as quick as I did if it wasn't for you and After Prison Show and Cody and everybody else that was just rooting for me to do right. So, it happens. But yeah, Paul's one of them. Paul's one of those guys that, he comes home and his responsibilities produce anxiety, and that anxiety produces, addictive behavior. Anxiety, if you have an addiction, if you have that addictive behavior, anxiety will push you towards that addiction because it numbs it. It gets rid of those feelings that you can't explain. I once heard someone say anxiety is like being in a room with a tiger. And everything about you knows that tiger's there, but you can't see it. You don't know where
wait, now the tiger's invisible?
Right.
Because you ain't mentioned that you said anxiety's like being in a room with a tiger.
That you can't see.
Okay. Maybe I missed that part.
Right. Could you imagine that, though? Like, it's there.
No, I mean, that's actually a really good way to word it.
And it boosts your fight or flight to a point that's uncontrollable.
So if you smoke crack, the tiger goes away. That's how you combat the tiger?
I mean, it depends on what your, chemical makeup
Get
is.
away from me, tiger!
Crack smoke, for me, would have brought like 5 or 6 more tigers into the room.
Holy shit, now they're ninja tigers!
They're orange ninja tigers.
Son of a... Anyways, I don't mean to crack the jokes about that, but it was funny.
Dude, if you can't joke about it...
Don't be about it.
Maybe.
Anyways. To mention one other thing about Paul, he's probably right back in the church, in jail or in prison, wherever he's at right now. And no discredit to him for that. No. It's just so crazy how guys, when they get locked up, they grasp to what they know, whether it be me getting locked up, I'm going to be tattooing, or I'm going to be trying to hustle one way or another, or playing soccer, or doing whatever. Some guys, it's the church. Other guys, it's dudes. And,
that's when it doesn't work no more, right? It's because...
So do you think there's a possibility?
It becomes a bid. You understand? It becomes a bid mode, and you're not actually obtaining any of the spiritual benefits from praying and, just talking and releasing that. Because that's what I feel like praying is. Everybody will tell you, you got issues, you got to talk about it. You got to let it out. And half the people don't even know why they feel a certain way or how they feel about a certain situation until they start to verbalize those feelings. And they're like, holy crap.
And it don't matter if you're saying that to God or to the wall, so long as you're
getting it out.
Right. There's a possibility Paul may not even be involved in the church anymore. He could have reached a point, and I want to say, and I can't say this definitively.
That point. I know what point you're talking about.
Well, no, I think I mentioned, I asked Paul when we did the videos together if he was still involved in the church, and I think he said maybe like a little bit or not as much as maybe he wanted to be or something. Maybe you reach a point where you're like, man, hey, this ain't it.
It ain't working for me.
Yeah, so maybe whatever. But Paul was just one situation and one person that I wanted to mention. There's other people as well. There was a dude who associated with you, associated with Paul, and a friend of yours, a guy that I didn't really know. He played the keyboard in prison.
Yeah, my boy Trey.
Trey took the church real serious.
Yeah.
And as far as I last heard, which I guess was probably from you because I wouldn't have known no other way, he's still doing really well with that.
Yeah. Everybody has their ups and downs, but yeah, he's one of those ones that the last I heard, you know, he's got his own detailing company, vans, he's doing that. I guess he does other small like painting jobs and stuff like that as well. And still in the church, still playing the keyboard.
Darnell Phillips, another huge story that was featured here on After Prison Show, heavily involved in the church.
I don't even think I remember that name.
I got booted out of prison 2018. And even though I attained my freedom, nevertheless, being wrongfully incarcerated and your life stolen away from you for 27 years, you for real, you're like, well, no one is acknowledging this. You know, you're out free. Of course, you have your freedom, but it doesn't change the damage that was done to my life. You know, left off the streets at 19 years old, came back at 46 years old. You know, that's a long time. It's a huge chunk of my life.
Oh God, Darnell Phillips, man, served 28 years for a bad charge that he didn't do. Got out because of the Innocence Project. Still, last that I knew, was still fighting to get the full exoneration. And of course, the state's dragging their feet on that because full exoneration equals, you know, a payday.
Oh, for sure.
But last that I had seen, I mean, Darnell Phillips, I think, now has his own church thing going on. Maybe a church, maybe a congregation, like whatever. One final person that I want to mention, there was a dude named Twan. Now, this is a dude who's local in my area, heavily involved in the church, in prison. Came home, got a church. He's like a pastor at a local church, maybe a small church, something like that. But, you know, everything looked, and he's a friend of mine on Facebook, and everything looked, and, you know, looked for the longest time like it was going really well for this dude. And
then what happened?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden I start seeing these Cash App things all over his Facebook. Comment the word FEMA for your chance to win, you know, between like $500 to $5,000. So everybody on his Facebook would be commenting FEMA, and he would be responding, congratulations, inbox me. And then on his stories on Facebook, it's videos of people saying, hey, yo, thank you, FEMA. I got my money. This is real. And these are people from his Facebook page. Now, I know you and I have talked about this before doing this, and your thoughts on this war.
It sounds like his Facebook got hacked. And I mean, that's what you can hope, if that's not real. Maybe he done linked up with FEMA. I don't know. You never know.
But it does seem very plausible that his Facebook did get hacked. But then I went and looked for...
Has your Facebook ever been hacked?
No.
Bro, this happens more often than not. I literally was just at my buddy's house.
Your Facebook's hacked.
What?
Or it looks, you know, when I go to your Facebook, you got all these people tagging you in all these dumbass videos.
I know. I got to figure out how to just shut it
So I don't know
down.
if that's hacked or if you got like a bad friend on your friends thing that's just
posting stuff. Yeah.
But I don't mean to cut you off. I went and looked to see if this dude Twan had a different Facebook profile, because if his Facebook was hacked, well, he probably created, hey, look, don't fall into this. But he doesn't have a different Facebook. And I even saw just yesterday the little green dot, like he was active on Facebook with a new post saying, starts today, comment FEMA.
Did you comment?
No, but he tagged you in this.
He tagged me?
He tagged you in this. He's your friend too, isn't he? He is, because I remember seeing your name on this. So I don't know if it went to your Facebook or not, but I know you were tagged in this. He tagged like 90-something people, like all of his friends.
Okay.
So, of course, you got tagged in that.
So then you were tagged as well.
If I was, my Facebook is set to where if somebody tags me, it doesn't pop up on my timeline. I have to...
So I can change that setting?
You can change. I just don't know how. You might want to reach out to Cody. Speak of the devil. Cody, we need you over here. Just go ahead and throw this out there real quick. I'll put it out there. Dave tried to reach out to Cody to see if Cody would be interested in doing this, and
he was
not interested.
Not interested in the videos. He feels like his life's gone a different route and that he's not, this was just a good time. He definitely said, I had a good time doing it. I just don't feel like
Getting back into it.
getting back into
Fucking with Joe again.
Actually,
Dealing with that headache.
He didn't say that.
But Anyway, shout out to Cody. His life is, different now. A lot of people's lives are different now.
Yeah.
People move on. After Prison Show, for a lot of people, it's a thing of the past. Look at the subscribers versus the views, and it's just
Doesn't make any sense.
no. It's just what it is.
Is it though? Is it dead, Joe?
I don't think it's dead. I think this is a great way to bounce back to a certain degree, or do something to refresh, to bring some new blood to this
like
thing.
that.
But anyways, getting back onto this Antoine situation, if this is legitimately him doing this, I got to believe there's got to be some illegitimate shit with this, right? And I would hope that that's not the case. But I start to think, I'm like, man, here's a dude, heavily involved in the church and prison, comes home, starts a church, realizes, man,
FEMA's where it's at.
there ain't no money in the church.
Yo,
I ain't no Joel Osteen.
Oystein.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, close. Yo,
But FEMA, though.
Is it not funny though that the hustle man will always be? You always find one in the church when you're locked up. One of the guys in the church is that dude.
If not a lot of the guys in the church. And that probably is in part because so many people in the church, in prison especially, got shit with them. Just got larceny. There it goes. I caught it that time. See? I caught it powering off, you mother. And I don't even know why you do that, GoPro camera, with the wide angle view.
It's gotta, you gotta have what you gotta?
I gotta have Cody back.
You gotta have a screensaver on there or something? Is it like the battery power off feature?
I didn't want to make this, all about church and prison church and things like that. But it was, running across this picture from Dave in that time in his life, and a picture that never surfaced throughout the course of After Prison Show. I just found it super interesting. And also, hearing about Paul, sad as that situation is, this situation with this dude, Antoine, now I'm really curious to know what's up with the dude, Trey, what's up with the dude, Huckabee. The only one that I can definitively say is, really doing well is McDuff. And that's because I see him on Facebook, and every time I see him post something, he's enjoying the shit out of life. He's got a wife, he's got a kid, he's got a great life, and good for him, man.
Great job.
Yeah, man.
Doing good.
Anything else you want to say in relation to this topic? Any thoughts of starting Dave's World Church up? You could be the next Joel Osteen up there. Like an oyster cracker.
All right, everybody, bow your heads.
Take your wallets out
Take
first.
out your wallets. And just slide your ATM card into the...
You got Cash App?
It's a leap of faith, I know.
Anyways,
When all
there's
the
going to be
money's
people who watch
gone-
this who are like, y'all are going to hell for this. And, look, we're just trying to do what we do here, man.
Yeah, you know it. Hey, look. Yeah, I got into the church. It helped me grow and mature. Because if I wouldn't have associated myself with that lifestyle...
You would
I
have had
would've
way
just-
more fun in prison.
Shut the...
You would have had way more tattoos. You'd have come home looking like an island boy. Dave, you missed out. The church held you back.
What did I do, man? I should have been got a face tattoo.
What did your homeboy tell you? You need to reach out to him and be like, hey, yo, you remember what you told me?
Look, Joe told me a long time ago, he was like, bro, you need to get a face tattoo. You get a face tattoo, it just puts you on the map. That's what it does. Now I get it right here. My Jesus piece on my face. If I would have never started down that road, I would have stayed the same immature, and I'm still immature, but that same kid. I think I grew up a lot through that bid.
You had to.
More than I had ever done before.
Because it was the most time you had ever done.
Well, I could care less. At that time in my life.
Could
like
you
my-
care less?
Yeah, my mind.
So you could do that
thought
again?
bro, no. I've changed. That's what I'm saying. I've changed. I couldn't do no time. That shit would break me. That year I just had to do feels like it was yesterday. I was losing my mind because in my head,
And you ended up in the turtle suit.
Yeah, they had me in the turtle suit. Yeah, that was crazy. Yo, did I tell you somebody sent me a rubber dick in my P.O. box? Like with a suction cup on it and everything?
You did.
I'm streaming.
You showed it to me when I went over to your house. You had it stuck to the wall.
Yo, I'm streaming last night playing the game.
And it was still stuck to your wall?
No, I got rid of it when I moved, right? But the guy who sends it comes in stream. He's like, well, so what'd you do with the gifts I sent you? I'm like, well, what'd you send me? He's like, you probably just, he said $60 down the drain, right? And I'm like, look, man, fuck you, right? I'm getting mad now, right? I'm like, fuck you. Thanks for the $60. I probably fucking bought meth with it, right? I'm like getting mad. That's a joke. It's a joke. But I was getting mad on the stream, and he would keep like sarcastic ass comment after another one, and I was just like getting salty about it and trying not to pay attention. And
but he's the only one in there.
It clicks when he says one thing. I said, "Oh, bitch, you sent the rubber dick, you motherfucker." He's like, "I am not admitting any guilt," and then started laughing. So it eased up, but it was just funny, bro. You could get anything. Bro, they sent me a butt plug with a jewel on the end of it.
Oh yeah, they were tripping.
Still got that.
We're getting close to the end of this episode right here. I think that this one was pretty good, man. Definitely getting into the groove of this.
It's funny to see that picture and to know, like, I mean, this might be funny, but I feel like I needed to see that picture.
Oh, good.
I mean, where I was at mentally, bro, I was so focused at that time on bettering myself. And I noticed the difference every day. Every single day. So seeing that picture and knowing where I was mentally in that picture, it made me feel good. It made me
rejuvenates a little spark.
It kind of did. It kind of did. And I still have fears, man. Fear is what fear will fuck you up, man. It will leave you broke. It will leave you alone. It'll leave you ran through, man. No homo. Dead ass, though.
Well, let me just jump in here real quick, Dave. When you have those fears, just imagine yourself butt ball naked in a room.
I don't think that's how it works, Joe.
With an invisible tiger.
With a monster rubber suction cup to the back of the tiger.
Okay, anyways, we're getting a little too vulgar with it. Look, let me share that we had a bunch of topics that we were going to hit on in this, but obviously that one topic held us up for quite some time, and I feel like it was really entertaining to get stuck there like we did. There's some stories in the news that I want to address, and we'll hit on a story or two in the future. There's comments that we want to address. There's doing this live where we're going to undress. I thought I was being clever. There's a lot of things that we're looking forward to be able to do with this moving forward.
I did say fuck it, right?
Well, you do blend in with the chair, oh Chicago.
Pull these baloney-sized nipples out.
If you were ever a preacher, you could have told the story about Chicago and maybe...
It's like, how would you use that?
As a positive thing.
You gotta be open to anything.
Gotta be open-minded. Really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Really looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Also share with us things that you would like to see, things that you'd like to see us do differently.
Or topics that you would like us to add our 2 cents on.
Trust me when I tell you, I've got a list of upcoming episodes that we're going to be getting into. The picture, you saw how that carried out for this episode. There's other things that I can't wait to dive into on this.
I also wanted to bring up maybe doing reactions to different things going on, like whatever.
Yeah.
Current events, videos, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great idea. I want to share a couple of things in closing for ideas moving forward, things for you guys to look for, and these are definitely coming. There's some things that you don't know, quite a few things actually, that you don't know in relation to After Prison Show.
Do I know?
Of course you know. Some of these things you were a part of.
Oh, okay.
For example, the missions that I used to send Dave on. Fishing expeditions, so to speak. No shiflet intended. Can't wait to dive into that with Dave. Wait till you see what old Joe used to have Dave doing during our downtime, our in-between time.
I used to have fun doing it, though, because of people's reactions.
There's
I
that.
should have got that shit on camera.
One other thing in terms of another idea that I've got is people that I regret introducing here on After Prison Show. And let me tell you, that might be the next episode. And when I tell you that you'll be surprised who's on that list, definitely be staying tuned for that one. Anyways, Dave, hey man, I think we did really good with this.
High five.
Like a little Power Ranger.
We gotta come
Have
up
you
with
seen those
like
videos on TikTok? Speaking of reaction videos,
APS handshake or something.
how did y'all twist the fingers in the church? What were the gang signs? Bible study. Hey, have you seen those videos on TikTok of the dudes doing the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? Grown men in like their tadun the underoos, and they're like, it's morphin time, and it's like the worst transition scene of them in a full on freaking Power Rangers costume. Grown men. This is the world that we live in, 2022. Grown men doing freaking Power Rangers.
Hey,
Anyway.
that was my era.
Yeah, mine as well.
I definitely came home from school and would watch Power Rangers, eat a snack.
Animaniacs.
Animaniacs. Yeah, there was some good ones back in our day.
Rugrats.
Look, someone was like,
Ren and Stimpy.
my kid doesn't
Rocco's Modern Life.
doesn't watch
Rocco's Modern World.
or said something about my sister's kid watches too much TV or some shit, and I was like, motherfucker, the only reason you didn't watch that much TV when you were a kid is because you can only watch cartoons on Saturday and at 5 o'clock in the morning and then an hour after school. Like, that was the only time you would see cartoons.
That's what's wrong with this world now, is everything's on the internet.
On demand, man.
Yeah. Anyways, Dave, great episode. Send us home, Dave.
Just like this is on demand. If you want to catch me and Joe, it's going to be once or twice a week. We're going to be doing live streams. We're going to be doing mud wrestling.
What?
Get those freaking Power Ranger leotards ready, Joe. Could you imagine that? Me and Joe mud wrestling in banana pudding. Would that be banana pudding wrestling?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Don't worry. We'll have the wafers. I know you like the wafers.
Oh, that banana, yeah, that's good shit.
That's good shit. So we could snack and wrestle. I'm just saying, man, we could like get some live wagers going, see if we can't. You know, the casino's about to go up.
Yeah, I said I was going to be living there when that's open.
Great.
You know, I want to say something as we wrap this up. Dave, it's good to see you with the energy. I don't know what your energy was like when we weren't together, but I got to imagine that since getting back together, there's this new pep in the step, and you're here now.
Dude, I love it. This been missing. It's been missing. Definitely has been missing. You've been missing. After Prison Show's been missing. The bullshit haters in the comments, they've been missing. If nobody hates me, I'm not doing anything right. I'm not doing anything, apparently, if ain't nobody hating. So bring it on. Till next time, stay tuned. We got some shit for you. Promise. Peace. I need another cup of coffee. You just gonna see how much more you can get out of me?
Yeah. That's it. Till next time, take care.